Hello everybody, I'm Chris Agrell, Principal of Christ the King School.
And I'm Amy Becker, the Assistant Principal of Christ the King School.
And this particular video we're going to talk to you about is just a recent change we made involving recess. Our kids are now wearing masks at recess. I do want to say that there's a purpose, there's a reason for this, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But the kids are wearing the masks at recess. But at recess, there are some mask-free safe areas that we have identified in each one of our 9 recess areas where a child can go and take a quick break. And when I say quick break, it could be a matter of minutes. It depends on the child. Where they can just be in that zone and take that mask off and just take a little breather, a little rest. Since we've been doing this, and we've been doing this week, we noticed that there are some kids that are in those mask-free areas, but for the most part, the kids are playing, they want to play, they want to be out there, and so they're not really doing that. But we're doing this because of safety. That's really the only reason that we're doing this. We want to keep our kids safe, we want to keep our school open, but in the process of handling certain recent exposures that Mrs. Becker and I have seen, and we always do contact tracing, and sometimes it takes us hours to do this contact tracing, because it's not only things in school we have to trace, but it's things outside of school, sports teams, clubs, different things like that, just where people have been and what they've been doing, just to try to make sure that we can contact trace thoroughly.
And recess is really one of the most tricky areas, because even though we're in smaller areas and cohort groups, the kids choose so many different things. So, you might have a group playing kickball and they're just going by each other briefly, and they're running and playing, but you might have a group sitting down and they're making fairy houses or they're weaving grass, and now they're right next to each other. And that's a lot for people to keep track of as they're supervising. And it's really hard to remember, were they sitting without their masks, or were they up and running around? And all of that makes a difference in who gets to stay and keep going at school and whom you might have to quarantine.
Right, and we don't really want to quarantine anyone.
Right.
We want to keep the kids in school. So we're doing this out of safety, because it just seems to be one of the weaker areas here in school, just because the kids are running around and visiting, like Mrs. Becker said. But, there is a concern. We want the kids to be able to take their mask off and have some breaks, certainly, and we have those no mask break areas. But also, we are continuing to take mask breaks approximately every hour here in school, where we take the kids outside, they can take their masks off. I mean, we do it in a variety of ways. Sometimes we just kind of walk a big loop outside, they take the mask off, they space out. I've seen some teachers where they kind of make a big circle in the parking lot, everybody is away from each other, they all take the masks off. Please know, we realize that it's very difficult for a child and even an adult to be wearing a mask all day. So those breaks give everyone a chance to have a break about every hour. Sometimes we can't do it every hour, but we're pretty regular about doing that and providing that break time for the kids, because we know how hard it is. So,
And their longest mask break is coming for most of them the half an hour right before recess, because they are spaced and unmasked through their lunch.
Right.
So they've had their mask off for a half an hour before they even go out for recess.
Right. So if you're concerned about that, we understand that. We are too. The kids are given a lot of opportunity to have the mask breaks, to have time without the mask, and it is really nice, like Mrs. Becker said, during lunch. That's a half hour where they can take it off. A lot of times the kids are just putting it back on. They're just used to it, and I think, as an adult, I think sometimes the mask is harder on me than it is on any of the kids. They seem to really go with it. At the end of the day, boy, I'm kind of exhausted because of the mask. So we totally get that. So anyway, just wanted to kind of go over that has changed, and like I said, it's just to make sure that we keep our kids safe. We don't want to get into a situation where we have any exposures at school, and that was just a weak area that we kind of noticed when we were doing contact tracing based on other exposures outside of school, and we just saw that as a vulnerability that could get us later, and we just didn't want that. We wanted to avoid that. So so far, the kids seem to be doing very well with it. You know, they're playing football, they're running around, they're doing all kinds of things with the mask. Anyway, so we just wanted to kind of let you know, that's why we did that. We're gonna see how it goes. And we just want to protect our kids, and the bottom line is we want to keep Christ the King School open. We want to keep every one of our kids here in the school while the school is open. It's just a tremendous thing to see the kids back in school. I know parents feel that way too. We do as teachers, kids do too. We just want to be as cautious as we can. Sometimes we're a little overcautious, but I'd rather be a little overcautious and keep this school open. So anyway, we just wanted to share that with you, and so hopefully that answers some of the questions that maybe some of you had, some of the concerns, and you know, it's not ideal. We don't want to do it. We wish we didn't have to do any of this kind of stuff, but unfortunately we do, and we're just trying to do the right things to be safe. So thank you for understanding. Thanks for watching this video, and until next time, God bless and be safe.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.